Success is never the product of scattered thoughts or aimless effort. It begins with a burning desire that is translated into a clear, definite purpose. This definiteness of purpose becomes the cornerstone upon which all achievement is built. When a man knows exactly what he wants and is willing to commit himself wholly to its attainment, he activates a power within himself that aligns his thoughts, decisions, and actions with a single, unwavering goal. But desire alone is not enough. It must be refined into clarity, and clarity must be reinforced through daily deliberate action. This is where discipline enters. The combination of definiteness of purpose and daily discipline forms the first and most essential winning habit that attracts success like a magnet. Think of the mind as a ship. Without a destination, it will drift endlessly at the mercy of swirls, winds, and waves. But once the captain sets a precise course and steers steadily, the ship cuts through the sea with certainty. So it is with the human mind. When you operate each day with a definite aim, every thought and every deed has direction. Random effort is replaced with focused execution. Time, which is so easily wasted by the aimless, becomes an ally to the purposeful. History has shown us repeatedly that individuals who reached the pinnacles of greatness did so not by chance, but by first determining with precision what they desired from life. Whether it was building an empire, inventing a revolutionary machine, creating a work of art, or achieving financial independence, they made that purpose the center of their universe. They lived, breathed, and acted for it daily. And in doing so, they became beacons of attraction to opportunity, ideas, and people who furthered their mission. But here is where many stumble. They define a goal, they get excited, and for a few days or weeks, they work with passion. Then distractions creep in. Discipline wavers. The world tugs them in different directions, and before long, the original purpose fades. This is why the daily habit of discipline is so vital. Success is not attracted to the man who moves in fits and starts. It is drawn to the one who operates with consistency, who shows up every day and does what must be done whether he feels like it or not. Discipline, contrary to popular belief, is not a burden. It is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. It is the force that converts wishes into wealth, ideas into innovations, and dreams into destiny. Each time you act in alignment with your purpose, you train the subconscious mind to operate with greater efficiency and resolve. You form grooves of thought and behavior that become automatic, and over time, this mental and behavioral alignment becomes your character. It becomes who you are. Consider the man who wishes to build a great business. If he is definite in his purpose, he will know his target market, understand his product, and visualize the outcome he desires. But more than that, he will wake up each day with tasks that move him closer to that vision. He will study, network, improve his skills, and solve problems, even when obstacles arise. He will not allow discouragement to distract him, nor will he waste time chasing every new opportunity that promises quicker results. He knows his purpose, and that purpose becomes the compass guiding every decision. This level of intentionality is not confined to business. The same principle applies to the artist mastering his craft, the student aiming for academic excellence, or the athlete training for competition. The habit of defining a clear purpose and pursuing it with daily discipline is universally effective because it is rooted in the laws of nature. Energy flows where attention goes, and results accumulate where effort is concentrated. When you live this habit long enough, you begin to notice something remarkable. Circumstances that once seemed coincidental begin to favor you. People appear at the right time. Resources show up unexpectedly. New ideas emerge just when they are needed. What others call luck is in truth the law of cause and effect in motion. The universe aligns itself with the man who is aligned within himself. Yet, this winning habit does not come naturally to all. It must be cultivated. It requires that you examine your desires deeply and honestly. You must ask, what do I truly want? And be willing to sacrifice distractions, comforts, and sometimes even relationships that do not support that aim. You must be brave enough to say no to the many so you can say yes to the one, the purpose that calls you forward. You will find that in time, the habit of discipline becomes its own reward. The man who lives with purpose sleeps better, speaks with confidence, and walks with direction. He knows where he is going, and because of that, he wastes no energy doubting whether he will arrive. He may encounter setbacks, yes, but they do not deter him. Why? Because he has trained himself through daily practice to remain true to his purpose. And so, the first winning habit that attracts success is not some mystery. It is the most practical truth. Know what you want and work toward it every day without fail. This habit creates a momentum that becomes impossible to stop. And once you are in motion, success cannot help but meet you on the road. The mind is the seat of all achievement, the master power that shapes reality. What a person holds in their mind with belief and repetition becomes the substance of their life. The second winning habit that attracts success is the mastery of thought through autosuggestion and the unwavering application of faith. It is not enough to merely think positively. It is the habitual feeding of the mind with purposeful, definite, success-driven thoughts that creates the internal environment in which success is not only possible, it is inevitable. The mind responds to what is repeated. Just as a seed once planted needs continuous watering and sunlight to grow, so too does a thought require repetition and belief to take root in the subconscious and bear fruit in reality. Autosuggestion is the act of deliberately planting these seeds. It is the practice of speaking to oneself with intention, declaring, affirming, and visualizing one's desired outcome as if it were already achieved. When done consistently, it bypasses the critical resistance of doubt and filters deep into the subconscious, where it begins to shape actions, attitudes, and even circumstances. You see, the subconscious mind does not judge. It does not evaluate whether what you tell it is true or false. It simply accepts what is fed to it repeatedly with emotion and conviction. If you fill it with fear, limitation, and uncertainty, your external world will reflect fear, limitation, and uncertainty. But if you form the habit of speaking success into your mind daily with passion and belief, you begin to see changes. Your behavior changes. Your courage grows. Your decisions become bolder, more aligned with your definite purpose. You walk, talk, and act as if success is already yours. This is not imagination in the childish sense. It is imagination disciplined by purpose. Every great achievement began first as a vision in the mind of someone who believed. The airplane, the telephone, the skyscraper, these were once thoughts, impressed upon the minds of men who refused to accept the limitations around them. They did not allow doubt to govern their decisions. They formed the habit of feeding faith, and that faith transformed what was once thought impossible into reality. But faith itself must be developed, and it is developed through repetition. One cannot speak affirmations once or twice and expect transformation. The mind must be trained like a muscle. Daily, one must declare, I am capable. I am destined for greatness. I am achieving my purpose. These words, when spoken with feeling, begin to stir something within. They build confidence. They create inner certainty. They rewire thought patterns that may have been rooted in defeat, conditioning, or failure. Many fail to realize the power of this practice because they try it once and see no result. But a man who plants a seed in the soil does not expect a tree the next morning. He understands that the process requires time, nourishment, and consistency. So it is with autosuggestion and faith. It is the daily habit that wins the battle, not the occasional attempt. It is also crucial to understand that the thoughts you dwell upon most are the ones that shape your reality. This is why guarding the mind is a necessary discipline for anyone seeking success. If your mental diet consists of fear-based news, negative conversations, and the opinions of the doubtful, then no amount of temporary positive thinking will make a difference. You must create a fortress around your mind, choosing with care what enters, what is repeated, and what is fed with emotion. And when doubt arises, as it inevitably does, you do not argue with it. You overwhelm it. You replace it. You drown it out with louder, stronger, more persistent affirmations of belief. This is the essence of mastery. Not the absence of doubt, but the habit of faith that rises above it. There is a law as certain as gravity that what is held in the mind with conviction tends to manifest in the external world. Faith, therefore, is not some mystical force. It is the mental habit of acting as if your goal is already accomplished. It is walking into the day with the confidence that the world is aligning in your favor, even before the results have arrived. And it is this confidence, born from belief, that causes you to make decisions others hesitate on, to pursue opportunities others overlook, and to persist long after others quit. Faith without action is fantasy, but faith backed by thought, reinforced by autosuggestion, and proven through consistent behavior, this is power. This is the kind of inner force that success is drawn to. Success responds not to wishful thinking, but to the man who knows he will achieve what he desires and who acts in accordance with that belief every day of his life. The mind can be either a faithful servant or a cruel master. The man who does not train it is ruled by fears, doubts, and external conditions. But the man who forms the winning habit of mastering his thoughts, who speaks life and power into himself daily, and who moves with unwavering belief, he is the man who shapes his own destiny. In the final measure, you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is determined by what you think and believe, habitually. Therefore, master your mind. Speak to it daily. Feed it with purpose. Clothe your thoughts with faith, and success will not be a stranger to you. It will be your closest companion. There is no force more powerful in the pursuit of success than persistence backed by a burning desire. When a man possesses a deep, consuming hunger for his goal and refuses to be defeated by circumstances, he becomes a force that even adversity cannot resist. The third winning habit that attracts success is not merely effort. It is the habit of never giving up. It is the unwavering commitment to continue moving forward, no matter how many times one is knocked down, delayed, or rejected. This kind of persistence is not found in casual dreamers. It belongs only to those who have made success a necessity, not a wish. Success is not won by the strongest, nor by the most intelligent, but by the one who persists longer than the rest. Temporary defeat is not failure. It is merely a test, a question posed by life itself. How badly do you want it? And how one answers that question determines everything. Most people give up at the first sign of resistance. They encounter obstacles and interpret them as signs to turn back, but the persistent man sees obstacles as part of the journey. He has formed the habit of expecting setbacks and has trained himself not to fear them. Instead of shrinking, he rises. Instead of quitting, he adapts. And this habit of pressing on, especially when it's hard, is the very thing that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. To develop this winning habit, one must begin with desire. Weak desires produce weak results. The man who merely wants success will not endure the long, lonely road it often requires, but the man who must succeed, who has burned the bridges behind him and made failure unacceptable, will find within himself a level of persistence that astonishes others, and even himself. When the desire is strong enough, it becomes the fire that fuels daily effort, despite fatigue, frustration, or defeat. There is something remarkable that happens when a man decides that he will not quit. Life begins to yield. Circumstances bend. Resources appear. Doors open, not immediately, but inevitably. Because the man who refuses to quit becomes too consistent to be ignored. Most people try a few times and give up. The persistent individual tries again and again, and in doing so gains experience, knowledge, and resilience that eventually give him the advantage. Persistence is not about mindless repetition. It is intelligent effort applied continuously with learning and adjustment. Each failure carries within it the seed of an equal or greater lesson. The persistent man harvests those lessons. He improves, sharpens his strategy, and comes back stronger. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes manageable. What was once intimidating becomes familiar, because with each effort, he grows. Not just in skill, but in character. There is another truth often overlooked. Persistence builds belief. Each time you continue, even when you feel like quitting, you send a message to your subconscious mind. I am a winner. I do not stop. I endure. And that self-improvement becomes reinforced. You begin to trust yourself. And when a man truly believes in himself, others begin to believe in him too. Opportunities, partnerships, and resources begin to orbit around his persistence like planets around a sun. It is magnetic. Those who wait for conditions to be perfect will wait forever. The persistent do not wait, they act. They understand that momentum comes from movement. Even a small step forward, taken consistently, is more powerful than a giant leap taken once and abandoned. Success responds to stamina, not speed. It is not about how fast you move at first, but whether you keep moving when others have stopped. This habit must be cultivated with intention. One must anticipate resistance. When it arrives, and it will, you do not act surprised. You nod and say, "Here is the test I was expecting." Then you proceed. You may have to change your method. You may need to regroup or rest. but you do not retreat. You form the habit of continuing, of trying one more time, because often the moment of breakthrough lies just beyond the point where most give up. The world is filled with stories of men who were on the brink of success and walked away too soon. Just one more call, one more meeting, one more hour of work could have turned the tide, but they quit. The persistent do not leave early. They stay in the fight, and in staying, they earn what others never will. It is also important to surround oneself with reminders of this truth. Read biographies of those who persisted. Fill your mind with stories of triumph over adversity. Speak your determination aloud. Declare, "I will not quit," until it becomes a part of your very nature. In moments of discouragement, return to your purpose. Reignite your desire. Remember why you started. Let that reason carry you through the storm. You must also eliminate all escape routes. The man who keeps one foot in safety will never leap with full strength. Burn the ships so there is no going back. When there is no other option but forward, persistence becomes natural. You do not hesitate when your back is to the wall and your future is on the line. In the end, success belongs to those who stay, those who keep showing up, those who choose not to yield, not to waver, not to abandon their dream, even when that dream seems far away. This kind of persistence becomes a habit, a way of thinking, living, and being. And when it is deeply ingrained, it makes you unstoppable. So form this habit. Let persistence, fueled by a burning desire, become your default. Refuse to be ordinary. Refuse to give up. And you will find that over time, success has no choice but to come to you, not as a gift, but as a reward you have earned.